Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 4 and I am Andi Fitra Insan and I would like to present about nonverbal communication. So, before we begin our presentation, it's better if we understand what is nonverbal communication. So, nonverbal communication is defined as intentional or unintentional transmission of meaning that can happen physically or behaviorally outside of what we say, like what our bodies do, our hand movement, our eyes, what are our eyes indicating, like, yeah, maybe like that. So, I'm going to be talking about the principles of nonverbal communication. So, there are 8 principles of nonverbal communication. So, the first is nonverbal communication uses multiple channels. Like, for example, when you are communicating verbally, you may have 2 channels of communication. Those channels are spoken or written, but in nonverbal communication we have so many channels to transmit meaning. For example, our hand movement, our uh, our facial expression. We are smiling. One smile can have many meaning, and our eyes, what our eyes do, like that. You may, in our touch, how we touch something or someone, um, it has meaning. And the second principle is like the nonverbal communication is more ambiguous. Like, you know what ambiguity means when you perceive something with multiple meaning. Yeah, that is the ambiguity of nonverbal communication. Like when you see someone smiling at you, you see someone smiling at you, and you wonder what they might mean with that smile. Do they like me, or do they pretend that they like me? You may catch something that is not intentionally done by your partner in communicating. And the third is nonverbal communication has fewer rules. For example, in verbal communication, they are rules of grammar or spelling, but in nonverbal communication, like, we may set rules, like we may agree that when we want to ask something, we raise our hand, but that's just it. There is no particular rules created for nonverbal communication. You may perceive or having interpretation by everything that people do. Yeah, like that. So, the fourth principle is nonverbal communication has more meaning. So, nonverbal communication has more meaning in communicating, like combining the verbal communication and nonverbal communication. We may intentionally create more meaning than what we are intentionally want to convey. So, like, people may interpret mixed message when we are communicating non-verbally. And then the fifth is non-verbal communication is influenced by culture. For example, yeah, in communicating non-verbally, like for example a distance with someone when we are talking to them, in some culture it is uh, in it is better if we are our position with our speaking partner is close, but in some other culture it's better if we have more distance with our speaking partner, uh, and it may be making it difficult when we are communicating cross culturally, because we have different perception in regarding the norms, and it's different and varied between a culture to another culture. And then the sixth principles of nonverbal communication is it is influenced by gender. So uh, obviously, when we are having a communication with it is impact by with our gender. For example, you may not see that male friends do something that your female friends do with each other, like uh, you know like when they greet each other, they may like chipika chipiki, but you would find weird if uh, male friends do that with each other. So that makes nonverbal communication is influenced by gender. And then the seventh principle is that the nonverbal communication is liberated through technology. For in the past, the communicating verb with technology, for example, a phone call or text message, you can only hear or you can only read what your communication partner say. But in the recent development of technology, we have been introduced with video calls. Like when you are having a video call with someone, you can see their smiling, their facial expression, so and you may catch meaning from them. So it is liberated by technology. And the last but not least, that in the eighth principle of nonverbal communication, that nonverbal communication is combined with verbal communication. That's they have to be combined to create a meaningful conversation and to communicate effectively. So thank you very much. That's from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aulia Asriastuti and I'm from Group 4. Now I will explain about nonverbal communication codes. So in this part, we can greatly strengthen our nonverbal communication skills by using nonverbal communication codes. The different means used to transmitting information nonverbally. There are 8 basic nonverbal communication codes, such as kinesics, vocalics, haptics, proxemics, chronemics, physical appearance, artifact, and environment. What I will tell you in this video is about kinesics. Kinesics focus on all types of body movements, such as facial expression, eye contact, eye gesture, and posture. We can communicate using body movements, like using facial expression. In facial expression, we can communicate non-verbally by using visual expression. Facial expression can affect other people's perception to ourselves. In facial expression, not the entire of the face, but it is a specific feature like the angle of the eyebrow, the curve of mouth, and the width of the eyes that can communicate our expression. But remember, it's wise to take care while judging people's facial expression. It can make a misreading or it can make a misunderstanding happen. Next is about eye contact. In this course, eye contact have many purposes. We use our eyes to express our emotion, show the other people where that we are listening to them, and then we also demonstrate our interest in a conversation by increasing eye contact or signal relationship intimacy by looking our close friends or romantic partner eyes. Looking at another person can indicate a range of our emotion include hostility, interest, and interaction. For example, when we look someone so long, it can make that someone that we looking feel hostile, like atau bisa dibilang risih. Seperti kayak kita melihat seseorang itu terlalu lama, orang itu akan merasa, ih kenapa itu orang lihat-lihat kayak gitu. And the next is gesture. In gesture, we can communicate through our gesture. We can say that words and the gesture to send the same message in communication. And sometimes, when we talk with our friends, we usually say that words and we spontaneously use our gesture to describe what we say before. And then the common gesture include waving or seems like hi. You say hi and your hand is waving. It's a gesture. And using our fingers to indicate numeric amounts, such as 1, you say 1, your hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other gestures are arbitrary and relate to culture. For example, we talk with our friends about the road that we pass when we go to school. We describe the bumpy, such as we say, oh, saya sudah tadi lewati Kak jalanan yang bergelombang. We describe the bumpy road with our hand like up and down. That you describe that bumpy road, up and down, bumpy road. Next is about posture. The posture is the fourth kinesis. Kinesis is our body posture, which includes strangers of back, body lead, strangers of shoulder. Strangers of back is sometimes like if you kayak bungkuk begitu, apa sih bahasa Inggrisnya bungkuk kayak begitu. And strangers of shoulder yang ininya. And head position like this. And how perception of effective by the way they sit, they walk, they stand, and hold their head. For example, when we love someone, we usually use a good posture or the perfect position, the perfect posture to make that someone you love make someone you love interest to ourselves to yourself to communicate with you. And the power in posture have primary message that we can control other people or even using posture. We can control people. If you say like that, people can say sopan denganmu kayak gitu. Thank you very much. And the next explanation will be continuous by Nahdlatul Aini.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nahdlatul Aini, and I will continue the explanation from Aulia. Before, Aulia explain about non-verbal communication codes. There are 5 characteristic. First is communicating through body movements. They explain from Aulia, and I will explain about communicating through voice, and communicating through touch, and communicating through personal speech. First, communicating through voice. Voice are important thing for humans. Voice are the medium through which we do a lot of communicating with the outside world, like our ideas, of course, and also our emotion and our personality. In communicating through voice, people's voice are actually complex combination of 4 characteristics. First is loudness. Loudness is volume, emphasizing, and intonation when we are talking. Like emphasizing one word over another when we are talking can alter the meaning from statement to question to comment depending on which word is emphasizing. Second is pitch. Pitch in speech, the relative highness or lowness of a tone as perceived by the ear, which depend on the number of vibration per second produced by the vocal cords. You can use pitch to draw the listener attention to words or phrases that are more important than other. And the third is speech. Speech rate. Speech rate is the number of words spoken per minute. The speech slow or fast. And the last is tone. Tone is voice, is how the character of your business come through in your words, both written and spoken. Yeah, and next is communicating through touch. Touch likely is the first sense we develop in the womb, and receiving touch is a critical part of infant development. Scholars distinguish between 5 types of touch. First is functional professional touch. Functional professional touch ini contohnya seperti sentuhan antara dokter dengan pasien, guru dengan siswa, atau pelatih dengan atletnya. Kemudian yang selanjutnya yaitu social polite touch. Social polite touch ini yang bisa kita lihat yang sekarang itu yang paling banyak, misalnya handshake saat kita salaman, atau saat budaya Indonesia cipika-cipiki dengan orang yang kita kenal, itu contohnya seperti itu. Kalau yang selanjutnya friendship warm touch, for example gently grasping a friend's arm and giving it a squeeze to express liking for another person. Yeah. Next is love intimacy touch. Contohnya ini misalnya memberi pelukan yang besar terhadap pasangan, giving your partner a big lingering hug. Yeah, this is the example. And the last is sexual arousal touch, like physically stimulate another person. And the last point is about communicating through personal speech. Yeah, personal speech is the region into which you allow people with whom you have good rapport. Personal speech range between 18 inches and 4 feet, and is the distance we occupy during encounters with friends. Jadi personal speech itu kayak personal speech itu contohnya seperti ruang pribadi. Jadi kalau kamu mengizinkan orang untuk masuk ke ruang pribadi, berarti orang itu sangat penting dalam hidup kalian. Setiap orang pasti punya personal space. Dia punya ruang pribadi yang tidak boleh sembarangan orang yang bisa memasuki. Siapapun yang dibukakan pintu untuk ruang pribadi itu berarti dia salah satu orang yang penting dalam hidup kita. Ya, itu tadi materi tentang communicating through voice, communicating through touch, and communicating through personal speech. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Nur Aichayati and I will continue explanation from Nahdlatul Aini before, and I will explain about communication talk time, communication talk physical appearance, communication talk object, and last communication talk environment. Well, the first is communication talk time, means how to use the time when communicating. There are two types of communication talk time. The first is me time and the second is be time. The first is me time or monochromic, like to stick with schedule and arrange schedule for ever opportunity. The second is speed time of polychronic. Polychronic is like to do things spontaneously and easily accept change in schedule. Next, the second is communication to physical appearance, means how physical appearance affect one's perception of others when communicating. For example, in terms of body, shape, height, short, thin, and fat, and how to make up, eye color, and facial expression can affect how a person assesses others. Next is communication through objects, means how a person communicates himself directly through object around him. For example, clothes, worn, accessories such as ring, glasses, watches, or factories use. For example, if there is someone wears look expensive according to other people, then they will assume that he or she is a person who is rich. I think if I look someone like that, I think I will assume that she is rich or he is rich. I think that's okay. Last is communication through talk. Communication talk environment means how or environment affect how people judge us. For example, how the state of our resident or house or house or home that we occupy. For example, the color of house is bright, then the person will assume that the owner is a cheerful and active person, and vice versa. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to present about the function of nonverbal communication. The first is conveying meaning. Conveying meaning similar how we use word, and nonverbal codes can directly and indirectly convey meaning. Direct conveying meaning. One convey good job, the convey anger. Example, a boss gives thumbs up, and the middle finger. Indirectly convey meaning. Use nonverbal codes to ascend or argument verbal communication. Indirect way of conveying meaning, like reiterating say off and point off, contradict, sarcasm, enhance saying I love you, followed by a kiss or hug, replace shake head shake head instead of saying no, spotlight emphasizing one of part of message. The second is expressing emotion. We communicate emotion nonverbal through affect display. Affect display are present primarily through the face and voice, include intentional or unintentional nonverbal behavior that display uh, actual or fake emotion. Uh, Intentional affect display. Intentional use face to communicate emotion begins during late infancy. Example, babies facial express anger and happiness to get their way. Uh, Unintentional affect display begins even earlier. Example, automatic facial express, like disgust, distress, interest, or happy. And the third is pretending ourselves, include a composite of self-awareness, self-compass, and concept and self-esteem. We use nonverbal codes uh, to present a different aspect of ourself to others. Present ourselves in different way based on the situation. And the fourth is managing interaction. Nonverbal communication also helps us to manage interpersonal interaction. For example, during a conversation, use regulators, eye contact, touch, smiling, head nods, and posture shift to signal to speak for how long. Uh, you we use nonverbal codes to signal third taking and length of conversation, gauge others' interest, regulator others to attention and behavior. And the next function of nonverbal communication is defining a relationship. We use nonverbal communication to create intimacy and define dominate and submissiveness in relationship. The next is intimacy. Intimacy, like feeling or closeness and union with partner. For example, gaze, relaxed posture, soft voice, physical closeness, shared times or object. And the last function is dominance and submissiveness. Dominance is to exert power and influence over others. Example, direct gaze, uh, interpret frequently, frown and scowl, take off or more space. And submissiveness, like willingness to allow others to exert power over us. Example, take off less space, allow interaction, allow others and to control times, space, and fashions. The next point is how responsibility managing your nonverbal communication. Um, Given the nature of nonverbal communication, it is important to highly general guidelines for how you can responsibility or manage your nonverbal communication. Um, in in my explaining, conclude with four principle for responsibility nonverbal conduct. The first when interacting with others. Remember that people view your nonverbal communication as at least as important as what you say, uh, if not more so. The second, nonverbal communication effectiveness is inextricably in inextricably tied to culture. In our discussion, you have repeatedly seen the vast culture difference that exists in body movement, uh, space, touch, and time, to mention just four. Third, be sensitive to demands of interpersonal situation. And the last is, remember that verbal communication and non-verbal communication flow with another. uh, I think that's all my explain about the function of nonverbal communication and responsibility managing your nonverbal communication. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.